No thanks to me.
Yeah.
Good evening. It is 7:02 p.m. on April 25th. I would like to call the Public Safety and General Government Committee of the Common Council to order. We have with us Mr. Sutton, Mr. Goldstein, Mr. Seed, and Ms. Dunn, and myself, Ms. McMurr. Is there anybody here for public participation?
There is not.
Wonderful. We will cross that off the list, open and closed. We need to approve the minutes from March 28th. Do I have a motion, please? Thank you, Mr. Seed. Does anybody have any corrections or changes to the notes as noted? No, great, even better. All those in favor of the minutes as accepted? Thank you so much. That's unanimous. And we have one item in new business tonight. Again,
I'm sorry, Jen. Somebody did just join. Do you want me to see if they want to speak?
of course, that's
Okay.
fine. Thank you so much, Darlene.
If you'd like to speak, can you please raise your hand electronically and I will unmute you? Okay, it does not appear so.
Great, no problem. Thanks so much. So we have one item of new business this evening, and it's from the Department of Public Works. So I'm going to, Paul, would you like me to read both of these together since they are related or separate?
That's fine. If you want to do them together, that's great.
I like to be efficient, so we will go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and read those and have somebody move them. Number one is authorize the Department of Public Works to have Eversource Electric to install 4 new poles and the associated wire for 4 new streetlights on the north side of Cosset Road to the intersection of Scribner Avenue within the city right-of-way in accordance with the attached plan, an approximate one-time cost of $10,000 to be paid for from account number noted. Number two, authorize the Department of Public Works to have Eversource Electric to install 4 new poles and the associated wire for 4 new streetlights on the north side of Cosset Road to the intersection of Scribner Avenue within the city right-of-way, in accordance with the attached plan at an approximate cost of $100 per month to be paid for from account number noted. Will someone move that item, please? Thank you, Ms. Dunn. And tonight we have Paul Skvotnik here with us. And so, Paul, why don't you go ahead and give us a little background detail on this, and we'll see if we have any questions or discussion around it.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me. My name is Paul, as Ms. McMurr just said. I'm a senior civil engineer with the Department of Public Works here in Norwalk, and we received a request in the form of a neighborhood petition from residents of Cosset Road and Chatham Drive. There were approximately 17 people that signed the petition, and they were requesting new streetlights be installed on Cosset Road at the intersection of Scribner Avenue. And I can bring up the plan to show you if you would like. I can share my screen.
Sure, that would be great.
Okay.
We're going to give as much attention to you as you'd like tonight because you're our only item.
I feel special.
You should. Great, we can see that. Thank you.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay. What I wanted to talk with you about basically is the layout that we've
We
had.
lost it now.
You lost it. Okay. I'll go back to the screen that I was on and leave it where it was. Can you see it again?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to describe the specific areas with my cursor,
Okay.
and we laid the information out on an aerial photo. And basically, there are no streetlights in the area today between 16 Cosset Road. There's an existing streetlight pole down at number 16 at the corner in the road, and all the way down Cosset to Scribner Avenue, there are none. The only existing light that's there today is at the entrance ramp to I-95 northbound. They've asked us if we could put 4 new lights in, and when we laid it out, everything that they had requested made sense. We put one across from the intersection. We went down mid-block and put another one on Cosset Road toward the bend, and then we've got one halfway down the road between Chatham and Scribner, and then we've got one that's going to go in the existing sidewalk area today, just behind the curb on the corner of Cosset and Scribner. And I'm going to blow the image up a little bit so that you can see it. And the reason that we are going to do this is in conjunction with can everybody see the area here in black?
Yes.
Okay, let me blow it up just a little bit more to make it easier.
Our eyes thank you.
Want one more, or I can leave that the way it is if you
Nope, I
like?
can see
No,
it.
I think that
Can everybody
works.
see it?
Yes,
The
Great.
I
Department
can.
of Public Works is going to be doing curbs and sidewalk project out in this area, and in coordination with the Transportation, Mobility, and Parking Department, they've asked us when we do it to put a bump out in the corner here to align the intersection and straighten it up to more of a T intersection. So that is what we're going to do, and this would be the new ADA ramp for the crossing of the crosswalk that's going to go into the south side of Cosset Road. And there's an existing light pole in blue, the SNET pole there that has no light on it. So we're going to take the wire from there, and this light pole will go just behind the existing curb line where it is today. And it leaves enough space so that people can get by it until the bump out is done and this new sidewalk and ADA ramp is created, so that the pole will not be in the road. And it worked out good because we didn't obviously want to have to wait until the new sidewalk and curb was put in order to do the light work. So
Okay.
if you approve the work tonight, what there is there's a one-time cost of $2,500 each for the 4 poles. That's the $10,000. And then the recurring monthly cost for the electricity is the $100 per month. And we coordinated that with Jeff Baxter from Eversource, and they are in agreement that we can put this in and it would not be an issue with them to do it.
That's great.
Basically the program that we're looking to do. It'll light up the intersection. The light will come down toward where the arrowhead is here to get a light over the intersection. And then these other areas down in here, you will have lights going out across Chatham Road, Cosset Road, and at the intersection of Chatham to light that intersection up also. And I can answer any other questions if you have any.
Mr. Goldstein and then Miss Dunn.
Thank you. Paul, I think this is very simple and makes a ton of sense. And so the residents in that area know what is your expected timeline, since it's going to be preceding the sidewalk construction?
Yes.
When do you think it's likely that these will be up?
If we get the authorization from the full Common Council, I will then make a request for Eversource to do a work order. And that sometimes is a thing that can take a little bit, because Eversource, there's been times where they've turned them around within a month or so, and other times it's been 3 or 4 months. So that question is hard to answer, but for what we can do here, we'll turn it around in a week or 2.
Okay, so from our standpoint, we'll move quickly, but Eversource is going to do what Eversource does. But the expectation, if I'm right, is we hope to have this done certainly by the end of this year.
Oh, yes. And from what I've understood, they plan on doing the sidewalk project by the end of the summer.
I got it. Okay, that's great. My only other question for this, and this is frankly an us question, Jen, I don't know if you can answer this, is
Okay.
This is not usually the kind of item that shows up in this particular committee. I'm just curious how it ended up
Actually, it
here.
is, and it doesn't happen very often. Paul, maybe you can speak a little bit more to this. Does this also go through Public Works Committee?
No, it does not.
Yeah, this is one of those general government things, but because it is lighting and it's part of safety, we have had items like this come before us before from Paul. I'm not sure what the rhyme or reason is, but I accept it. We move forward.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. When they show up, I'm like, huh? And then I'm like, oh, well.
Well, yeah, I have no other questions. So.
Okay, Miss Dunn, you were next.
Yeah, those meetings are very long. This is kind of nice to have it here.
Yeah.
Paul, was there any kind of investigation of using like the solar lights?
Eversource at this point in time, we've asked before, and we've been asked this question. We've asked Eversource several times, and at this point, they don't do solar lighting for the street lights. And one of the reasons is because, especially in an area where there are trees, they may not get enough sunlight. And with the light there, they told me that they don't want to have the liability issues of having a light and not having it work because it doesn't get enough sunlight to power it.
I think my question was not that I'm opposed to this specifically. I was just kind of wondering in general, as far as like, is that on the checklist of things that when we do this, are we moving towards looking at more, installing when we replace solar? Is that something that the city's doing at places or not? I don't know.
We've asked them, but we're at the mercy of the utility company that provides the power and the light. So we've asked them several times about it, and they've said right now they don't support the solar lighting because of the potential of not being consistently lit.
And is that consistent through other towns or is, do you know
I
what I'm saying?
believe it is. From whatever sources told me, they don't do solar lighting for streetlights.
Okay.
Mr. Seed. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Dunn, were you done?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Miss Dunn, were you finished? Sorry. Mr. Seed.
Yeah, I had a question. I think this is great. I actually spent a lot of time at 73 Scribner. Um, but at that street, like I was wondering if there's any thought in the safety in this like kind of intersection. Because a lot of times this street, not Scribner, is it Cosset?
Mhm.
That street when people are coming out, they're kind of like they have a hard time getting through because there's no like right of way or anything. Like Scribner just kind of keeps going, and then like when they're coming out, they're kind of just jumping in. So I was wondering, is any thought to like the safety? I don't know if a light or three-way stop sign or something like that. I mean, that might slow it down too much, but I was just wondering with safety, because I know like coming up this side street to try to cut through Scribner to the I-95 or to go to Connecticut Ave or down at Sono, a lot of times you kind of just kind of like hopscotch.
I haven't heard of anything, but that would be something that we would have to check in with transportation, mobility, and parking to see if they have it on their list to do any kind of a traffic signal in that
Okay.
area.
Hey, Jalen, I have a call with Jim tomorrow. I have to call him back about something else, so I can certainly ask since I already have him on the call and I can get back to you about that.
Okay.
Thanks. Miss Dunn.
Um, I I don't know if it's me, but it's just something, a conversation. Those bump outs for me are very hard. And I know that they're to kind of slow down people with the turning because you have to actually, make a wider turn when you're turning left. We have one here in Bartlett and it's really difficult. You actually are almost into incoming traffic. Um, why are we doing the bump out, if this makes sense, sort of? As Jalen just made me think of it. Like when you're, if you're trying to get into traffic almost more quickly, because people on Scribner do go really fast, it might make it difficult.
We were asked when we were putting the plans together for the curb and sidewalk when we meet on our monthly bi-monthly meetings with transportation, mobility, and parking to coordinate our projects. They had requested putting in the bump out in this area, and it's my understanding was to try and tee the intersection up more instead of having to come in at a Y directly where people can go shoot directly across into the on-ramp for the highway. They were looking to have it teed up more like a conventional intersection. That's what I was understanding, but we were requested to put the bump out in by transportation, mobility, and parking.
I can also follow up with Jim when I talk to him tomorrow. I was just emailing with him before this meeting, so I can follow up on that.
Does anybody like there's one up on I think Tierney too and Strawberry Hill that's really difficult. I don't know.
Yeah, that one at least has a light. You know what I mean? So it makes it a little easier.
But you still have to swing really
You
wide.
do. You're right.
Pull too close into you. It's I don't know. I feel like I'm more in danger of clipping people, but it does slow people down. So I understand that interest of it. But
to your point, like if there was a light or a three-way stop, in that area, it would slow people down on Scribner, so you wouldn't have to like stick yourself out in traffic to get around the bump out too. So I think it's all tied together. You guys can certainly follow up with him, but I can ask him since I'm going to talk to him tomorrow anyway.
that
I
could
don't
be the
need-
long-term plan. You maybe ask Jim Travers, definitely, and that could be
Yeah.
the long-term plan of what they plan on doing with that.
Sure. We'll get clarification from him and I can circle back with everybody on the committee. Are there any other questions about this particular item? All right, going once, going twice. Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. I think that was everybody. Yep, thanks. Sorry, I couldn't see everybody because we were sharing screen. All right, great. Thanks so much, Paul. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us, and I appreciate it. And we'll keep you posted if there's any questions on it. Let me know, and we'll keep you posted on the status.
Will do, definitely. And before we adjourn, I just want to remind everybody that on Saturday, we have a great Earth Day event on the town green from 12 to 4 p.m. Paul and a bunch of people have been working really, really hard to make this happen. And I just want to say thank you to Paul and thank you to the entire committee. It should be a really great day, hoping for no rain. I will be there with the Girl Scouts. So come see me and make a bracelet out of recycled material. But it should be a lot of fun for everybody. So I hope to see everybody there.
Yeah, come please.
With-
We look
yeah.
forward to seeing everybody, definitely. Come get a
Yeah.
seedling. We're giving away Douglas fir seedlings at the tree advisory committee table too.
Paul, I have enough trees now. I'm good. But I love that for everybody else. All right, I will call for a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Mr. Goldstein. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Jalen, I was going to say, are you opposed? Have a great night, everyone. It was short and sweet. Take
Have a
care.
good
night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.